You're watching 9 TV International live from Cairo. Time for the news. I'm Nusreen Behar, and we start with the headlines. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi witnesses Martyr Day celebrations. Russia's Sputnik 5 could be made in Europe for the first time after Italy deal signed. And the EU Parliament strips Edmonton to other claims of immunity. The 33rd Armed Forces Cultural Symposium was held on Tuesday, dedicated to mark Martyr Day. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi honored the families of martyrs and the wounded in military operations during the event. The Prime Minister Madbouli, Defense Minister Lieutenant General Mohammed Zaki, and a number of ministers and senior officials attended the event. The symposium was held under the title, "If not for them, we wouldn't be here." Addressing the symposium, President al-Sisi said Egypt does not forget its martyrs. He said the legends of the martyrs who sacrificed their lives for the nation urge Egyptians to preserve their country. Al-Sisi said all respect and appreciation go for Egypt's martyrs, adding that protecting nation is not an easy task, but a task that requires sacrifices. Al-Sisi said the region has witnessed developments that destroyed the concept of the national state. Al-Sisi said he hails the role of police forces in countering the forces of destruction. As for the coronavirus pandemic, he said the medical team's task during the crisis is also highly appreciated. He said the state seeks to make citizens' lives better through the Decent Life Initiative. Al-Sisi added that encroachment on agricultural lands must be stopped, as well as the acceleration of illegal constructions. And to shed more light on the issue, we have with us over the phone Dr. Amr Saleh. Dr. Amr?
Yes, very good morning to you.
Hello, Dr. Amr. It's our pleasure to have you on 9 TV International. And probably you have followed President al-Sisi's comments today. How do you weigh the significance of commemorating the martyrs and those who were wounded in military operations?
Well, this is a very noble action, and this is a very important day, not only because of these who have died recently during the last years, but because Egypt has given a lot to the Arab nation, has given a lot fighting terrorism, and President Fattah al-Sisi has said many times that Egypt is fighting terrorism for the world. Egypt is not fighting only for itself, but Egypt is fighting for the Arab world. Egypt is even fighting for the entire world. So today it is a recognition that Egypt has done a lot, has given a lot, and has given from the life of its son, from its resources. And, today President Fattah al-Sisi have even talked about the agricultural land, about the restructuring of the country, about the economic reforms, about our problems in Egypt, better than me. I think this is really important to mention that most of the problem that we are having today, it's because we have paid a price. We have paid the price over years, during the last 50 or 70 or 80 years, fighting terrorism, fighting for the Arab world, even since 1952.
Yes.
So this recognition is not only, as we have said, it's not only for the people that have died in Sinai or have died during the last years, but it's for the people that have given their life, the Egyptian people that have given their life over 100 or 200 years ago.
Dr. Amr, what does this commemoration mean to the families of the martyrs who attended today? We've seen, of course, videos of little kids
very emotional, yeah.
So what does this commemoration mean to the families?
Yeah, as I was saying, yeah, it's true. I do agree that today, this day is very emotional. It was very important. People were very emotional. We've seen the president tears in his eyes. This is again, I'm saying, this is again a recognition and a thank you. And I think it's much more than a thank you, because all the nation is giving this message to the families. It's a thank you message and a recognition message for the family. And we have seen the kids, the small kids, and the ladies and the wives that have lost their husbands, and the father, and the son, and the brother. It was very emotional. And going back to your question, this is a thank you, a message from all the Egyptians to the families that have lost one of their a part of this, them in this war.
Thank you, Dr. Amr Saleh, for being with us on Nile TV International. Thanks a lot. And from Nile TV International, of course, a message of gratitude to our martyrs and their families. And we proceed with our bulletin. PM Madbouli held talks today with the Minister of Environment, Dr. Yasmin Fouad. He was briefed on developments and revenues from natural reserves and investment projects planned for them. The reserves discussed include those of the Central Zone, Southern Sinai, the Red Sea, and Aswan. For her part, Fouad said the ministry is now laying down a plan for the disposal of construction waste over short and long-term schemes. She said a cooperation protocol is to be signed with a German company for the establishment of an industrial production unit for compressed wood from palm leaves. The scheme aims to decrease the amount of imported compressed wood. The Health Ministry reported new 591 coronavirus cases and 43 deaths. In its daily report, the ministry said recoveries have reached 144,000 cases from a total of 187,000. The ministry said it is still on high alert and follows up on coronavirus developments around the clock. The statement said precautionary measures are taken to defend against any viruses or contagious disease. Russia's Sputnik 5 vaccine against COVID-19 could be produced in Europe for the first time after a commercial deal was signed to produce it in Italy. The deal was signed by the Moscow-based RDIF Sovereign Wealth Fund and Swiss-based pharmaceutical company Adian. The agreement, which will need approval from Italian regulators before launching production, has been confirmed by both RDIF and the Italian-Russian Chamber of Commerce. Some EU members are not willing to wait for the EU's own regulator, the European Medicines Agency EMA, to grant its approval to Sputnik 5. Scientists said the Russian vaccine was almost 92% effective based on peer-reviewed late-stage trial results published in the Lancet Medical Journal last month. And moving to Tunisia, Tunisia said the first coronavirus vaccines were set to arrive to start mass inoculation in the North African nation using Russia's Sputnik 5 jabs. The presidency statement said an initial 30,000 doses are due to arrive on Tuesday from Russia, followed by 500,000 doses in the coming weeks. The statement cited constant diplomatic efforts to procure them, and Tunisia, which has about 11.7 million inhabitants, has recorded 237,704 COVID cases, including 8,201 deaths since the pandemic began, and it will be one of the last North African nations to start vaccinations. A vaccination campaign is expected to begin in the coming days. Lockdown measures remain in place, although rules have been eased slightly with an overnight curfew, now starting at 10 p.m. instead of 8 p.m. For travelers, mandatory quarantine at a hotel has been replaced by self-isolation at home for 48 hours. Libya's Prime Minister-designate urged lawmakers to vote for his new government in the first reunited session of Parliament in the years that the United Nations hailed as historic. A total of 132 members of the 188-strong House of Representatives gathered to vote on interim Premier Abdulhamid Dbeibah cabinet line-up, a crucial step towards December elections and stability after a decade of violence. A United Nations supervised process aims to unite the country after an October ceasefire between forces loyal to two rival administrations in the east and west of the country. The UN mission in Libya called Monday's meetings historic and praised the convening a reunified session after many years of divisions and paralysis in Libya. The U.S. State Department spokesman Ned Price said on Monday that the Houthis must demonstrate willingness to engage in a political process to achieve peace in Yemen. This came after the group claimed responsibility for drone and missile attacks on Saudi Arabia. Arab-led coalition authorities said most of Sunday's drones and missiles were intercepted en route to their targets, and there were no casualties or property losses from the attacks. Price said the attacks were unacceptable and put civilians at risk, including Americans. President Joe Biden has suspended drone strikes outside of war zones where U.S. forces are operating. The step preserves the policy of his predecessor, Donald Trump, who had given the military free rein in countries such as Somalia. Pentagon spokesman John Kirby said on Monday, any drone strikes planned in Afghanistan, Syria or Iraq will have to be approved by the White House. He described the measure as an interim guidance that was issued to ensure that the president has full visibility on proposed significant actions. He told a news conference that it's not meant to be permanent and it doesn't mean a cessation of strikes. The European Union, or rather the European Parliament, has voted to waive the immunity of Catalonia's former regional head of government and two other separatist lawmakers, taking them a step closer to extradition to Spain, where they are charged with sedition. The chamber announced on Tuesday that EU lawmakers had voted clearly in favor of stripping the immunity from prosecution of Carl Penmont and two former cabinet members, Tony Comyn and Clara Ponsati. Penmont and Comyn, who are in self-imposed exile in Belgium, formally became members of the European Parliament in June 2019, while Ponsati, who is in Scotland, was officially a member from January 2020. All are subject to European arrest warrants issued by Spain, which is seeking their extradition related to the role in organizing a 2017 independence referendum deemed illegal by a Spanish court. Well, that ends our news for now. Thank you for watching and stay for more coming up with Night TV International. I'm Nusreen Bihar.